Hello everyone. Welcome back to this channel. On this occasion, we're once again going to discuss several leaks that I've managed to find and that I think are quite interesting to talk about. As usual, this information comes from sources that are considered fairly credible. But before we get into the discussion, running out of stellar jade and Honkai starrail? Don't worry, there's a more budget-friendly solution. Now you can top up in-game safely, quickly, and at a lower price through U7 Buy. And it's not just Honkai starrail, other games are available too, all in one place. Still not sure? No problem. You can check U7 Buy's reviews directly on Trustpilot, so it's transparent and trustworthy. For comparison, 80 oniric shards cost around $100 in the official store, but on U7 Buy, it's much cheaper. The process is also instant. Just select your server, enter your UID, and the balance is delivered straight to your account, no hassle. Don't forget to use code BOOM for a 5% discount. And if you spend $80 per month on U7 Buy, you can even get the Express Supply Pass for just 1 cent. Yeah, it's basically free. Click the link in my description or pinned comment to visit U7 Buy. Alright, now let's get into the main topic. Okay, version 3 beta for ASHVEIL has finally been released today, and there are many changes that occurred in version 3 beta. The information we will discuss comes from GachaBase. For those of you who don't know, it can be said that they are similar to HOMDG Cat. Previously, GachaBase only focused on beta and changes from Zenless Zone 0 and recently expanded their service coverage to include Honkai starrail. So it can be said that they are quite credible. And it needs to be remembered, version 3 is the last change in the beta cycle for patch 4.1, which means there won't be version 4 or version 5. Before getting to ASHVEIL's main kit, we will discuss the changes to his signature light cone. The changes that occurred are only limited to base stats and not the effects, but the impact is still significant. Base HP experienced a decrease from 1058 to 846. Base attack experienced an increase from 582 to 635. And base DEF also experienced an increase from 463 to 529. Let's move to the first change from ASHVEIL, which is base stats. From the base stats side, HP and DEF experienced quite large decreases, which makes ASHVEIL more fragile compared to before. However, as compensation, attack increased significantly from 640 to 776, SPD increased slightly from 105 to 106, and energy cost for ultimate decreased from 160 to 150. Next, changes to the skill. This skill experienced a quite noticeable nerf. The lightning damage given dropped from 300% to only 200% attack. This 33% decrease is a significant reduction to his damage output. Apart from that, this skill also no longer gives one charge to ASHVEIL. Even so, because ASHVEIL's main damage source actually comes from follow-up attack and gluttony and ultimate, this nerf shouldn't be too noticeable. For other changes, only rewording occurred without mechanical changes. The biggest change is in the ultimate. In the previous version, the ultimate gave initial damage of 500% attack and allowed consumption of every 4 gluttony stacks for additional damage of 600% attack. This mechanism allowed for very large burst chains if the accumulated gluttony stacks were sufficient. However, in the latest version, the initial damage drops to 400% and every 4 gluttony stacks consumed only gives one additional instance of 200% attack. This is certainly a big nerf to his burst ceiling. However, as compensation, ASHVEIL now gets 3 charges compared to only 2 before. ASHVEIL's talent also experienced significant changes. In the previous version, ASHVEIL started battle with 3 charges with a maximum of 5 charges, and his follow-up attack gave damage of 360% attack. In the latest version, he starts with 2 charges with a maximum of only 3 charges, and follow-up attack only gives 200% attack. This is quite a big nerf. However, as compensation, this talent gets a new effect in the form of 8 energy regeneration every time the talent is triggered. The long-term impact of this change is that damage per follow-up does drop significantly, but ultimate rotation becomes more consistent and ultimate usage frequency increases, especially since ASHVEIL's ultimate energy cost was lowered. The second trace experienced a total change. In the previous version, this trace functioned as utility support that increased the entire team's follow-up attack damage by 80% and gave an additional 3 energy when ASHVEIL performed follow-up attack. This mechanism also positioned ASHVEIL as a buffer for follow-up attack-based teams, providing added utility value beyond personal damage. In the latest version, the trace changes to damage increase for ASHVEIL's own follow-up attack by 80%, and every 1 gluttony stack gives an additional 10% damage. With a maximum of 12 gluttony stacks that can be accumulated, this means potential additional scaling of up to 120% damage. And the last change is from ASHVEIL's eidolon. Of the 6 eidolons, only eidolon 1 got changes. The main change occurred in the condition for damage increase against enemies. In the previous version, when enemy HP was at 80% or lower, damage they received increased to 36%. In the latest version, the threshold is lowered to 50% enemy HP. This is a significant nerf, especially when fighting bosses with very thick HP. With the higher threshold, the previous version of ASHVEIL could utilize damage bonuses earlier and faster in battle, while the new version requires more time to activate optimal conditions. Thus are the major changes that occurred to ASHVEIL in version 3 beta. Overall, these changes lower ASHVEIL's burst ceiling significantly, both in terms of skill, follow-up attack, ultimate scaling, and eidolon. However, in exchange, this character gets more stable rotation, better energy sustain, and long-term scaling. For players who have been waiting for ASHVEIL with quite large expectations, these changes may feel disappointing. Although I'm sure many don't care about ASHVEIL either, because there will be 2 more interesting characters after ASHVEIL is released. Alright, that concludes our discussion for this time. What are your thoughts on these latest leaks? Are the changes in Beta V3 satisfying enough? Or rather disappointing? Feel free to share your opinions in the comment section. Don't forget to also spread this information to fellow Honkai Star Rail players who may also be interested in Honkai Star Rail information developments. Your support in the form of likes and subscriptions is very meaningful for the continuity of this channel, ensuring that you won't miss the latest information in the future. See you in the next discussion, and thank you for your attention.